start. And I turn on the captions here, which you can also turn off if you like. During class, if you ever have trouble hearing me, go ahead and let me know through your audio. That's the fastest way. Also try to look at the screen more frequently in the chat as well. For props today, we'll use, later on briefly, we'll use the wall. If you don't have access to a wall, you could also use a table or a sturdy chair, or a sofa or couch can also work as well. Okay. So find a comfortable seat. And I'm Amy. I've had class with you all. This is Core and Restore on Monday, November 29th. And today in yoga, we'll continue to be working through the layers of the body. In yoga, they're called koshas. The sheaths are layers, starting with the physical body, our gross body, our food and flesh body, the physical. And then below that body, the layer of the breath, which we're always working with in yoga. Underneath that layer, the layer of the mind and emotion, which is always kind of vibrating. Beneath that layer, the layer of intuition, which is more nonverbal and more holistic. And always trying to access the deeper layer underneath, the layer of peace, and that's never really changing. Accessing our own internal wisdom, which is always there. Let's go ahead and start with grounding, continuing to ground in the present moment, which we can always take with us off of the mat outside of our yoga practice. You can let your gaze be gentle and let your hands rest wherever they're comfortable. If it helps you access your breath, you can also place one hand over the heart and one over the belly. Inhaling through the crown of the head into a nice long spine. As you exhale, let the breath move downward to root you into your seat. Inhaling through the nose into the belly. And exhaling to ground. And the exhale is a downward moving breath, both grounding and letting go. And continue with several rounds of this grounding breath, simply arriving. Noticing the quality of your breath this morning, anything you're carrying in your breath, or maybe in your heart space, mind space, simply noticing what's there today. Without any judgment. Let the exhale be just as long as the inhale. Each breath is a letting go and grounding breath. And as you're ready, we'll meet in a child's pose today. Bringing our knees wide and sitting back onto the heels, reaching the fingertips forward. You'll let the space between the eyebrows rest into the mat. And breathe deeply through the nose, all the way into the hips, into the low back. As you exhale, releasing weight through that space between the eyebrows. Inhaling deeply into the belly here. You can also use this time to set an intention for your practice this morning. anything that comes to mind that will help guide you through these movements in our practice today. You can continue to breathe through the nose. You can exhale through the mouth if that feels good. And we'll begin to press ourselves onto a tabletop. Feel free to use a blanket under your knees too, especially since we're at home today. So nice strong tabletop, shoulders over the wrist. Press the whole hands, including the knuckles, into the ground, wide fingers, hips over the knees. And engaging the core here, long spine, without letting the lower spine collapse. Take a moment in neutral to let breath flow through the body, and remembering how that feels, we'll move into a cat and cow, pressing into the hands to open the heart space. Exhale, pulling the navel towards the spine. Inhale to press into the heart space. And exhaling to engage the navel, pulling it towards the spine. And you can continue with this rather structured moving breath to open the heart space, exhaling to pull the navel towards the spine. Or if you're desiring it this morning, you can let this be really free form and warming up the spine. You might move the spine more organically, your choice. Wherever you are, let the breath flow through the whole spine here. Nice long breath. You can let the gaze be gentle. That can sometimes help us to access our body more. Really letting the breath flow here. Feel free to do figure eights with the spine or letter C's. Letter C's are looking behind each shoulder, curving the spine into a letter C. And that could feel really good to help stretch the spine in either direction. Take 2 or 3 more breaths with your version of cat and cow, spine warming today. Letting the breath be long. And we'll let this movement come to a still. Find your neutral tabletop again with a neutral spine, pressing into the full hand and hips over knees here. And we'll bring the right leg out straight behind us, pressing into the toes, continuing to press into the palms, stretching into the back of the leg, the calf. Nice long breath. Give the back of the leg a stretch here. And we're gonna move into moving breath here. Inhaling the right foot up and the left hand out. Exhaling to bring elbow to knee. Inhale to extend. Exhale, bringing elbow to knee. If that's too intense, you can also simply lift the back leg and lower it for your moving breath. Wherever you are, continue to let the breath flow with ease, or encouraging ease here as we're building some heat, and keep the core engaged without letting your spine collapse. Take another 2 moving breaths. You can let this come to a still. Take a breath in your neutral spine. Shoulders over wrist, hips over the knees. Extend the left leg out behind you. Pressing into the toes, give the back of the leg a stretch. Nice long breath through the whole body here. And then from here, take your version of a moving breath, inhaling the right arm up, left leg out. Exhale to bring elbow to knee. Inhale to extend right arm and left leg. Exhale, bringing your elbow to the knee. Continue to press through the left palm of the hand. That hand is really supporting you. Continue to keep the core engaged here. Take another 2 or 3 breaths. Nice long breath here. The breath is continuing to support your movement. You can let this come to a still and go ahead and move the hips side to side, giving the hips a little release here. Lower yourself right onto the belly. You might take a moment to rest the forehead into the ground. Legs are long here, and the hands are by the shoulders. Breathing into the belly against the ground. And then we're going to move into a Sphinx pose. So bringing the forearms to the space in front of you. The shoulders are over the elbows here. And you're going to inhale to press into the forearms and palms of the hands, opening the heart space. As you do this, press into the sacrum, that big strong bone at the base of the spine. Inhaling through the heart space here. We're going to hold the breath, letting it flow, or not hold the breath, but let the breath flow in our Sphinx. Really pressing the sacrum towards the ground, engaging the low back here. Opening the heart, exhaling to ground into the sacrum. Go ahead and release the head towards the ground. Windshield wipe the legs side to side. We're going to take the Sphinx pose again. It's a really therapeutic heart opening and sacrum grounding pose for our low back. And release the legs towards the ground, pressing into the forearms, pressing into the palms of the hands, opening the heart space. Breathe into the open shoulders. And as you exhale, grounding into the sacrum, that big strong bone above the tailbone at the base of the spine. And you can release your Sphinx towards the ground. You can windshield wipe the legs side to side. And then from here, go ahead and grab the ankles and give the front of your thighs, the quadriceps, a stretch. You'll probably feel a stretch here as you press the ankles towards the buttocks. As you do this, inhaling deeply into the belly, continue to let the breath flow. You can press the hip bones into the ground as you stretch this part of your legs. And if that's too intense at all for the knees, always listen to your body. Everything, all the movements offered here are an offering. You can always move as feels right for you. And we're going to press our way up towards a downward dog. Pressing into a downward dog, pressing into the whole palms of the hands, the hand knuckles, and all of the toes. Use these strong roots to breathe into the hips. You can gently bend the knees if that helps support this lengthening. Let the breath really flow here. If it feels good, you can pedal the feet or nod the head. Waking up the whole body here, really letting breath nourish the body. And from here, walk your way towards the front of your mat as if you're walking up a mountain, really engaging with the toes, meeting in a forward fold. Take a few breaths here in your forward fold. Inhale to half lift by pressing into the shins to lengthen through the spine, looking forward. Nice and slow so that you don't get dizzy, letting the breath really flow here. And go ahead and release back into your forward fold. We're going to come back into that half lift. Inhale to half lift, lengthening through the spine, looking forward. Hi. Exhaling to forward fold. On your next inhale, you're going to lift into your chair pose, lifting the hands overhead, and then sitting back. Your feet are a little bit wider than your hips here for extra support. Let the breath flow here. Breathing through the fingertips. Exhale to sit into your seat. On your next exhale, you can release the hands. And we're finding our mountain pose. Breathing through the crown of the head and then rooting into the roots of our feet, our big toe mound, little toe mound, and the heel. Let the breath flow through long spine here. And we'll go ahead and lift the hands towards overhead, bringing the palms together, stretching into the right side rib. Inhale through the fingertips. Exhale to root through that standing leg. Let the breath flow through the whole body here, continuing to root through all the roots of the feet. Release the hands, bringing the hands together, moving to stretch into the other side. Breathing into the side ribs as you exhale, rooting into the standing foot. Really let the breath flow through the whole body here. Take another couple breaths, relaxing the shoulder into the back, releasing the hands. And we'll take a moving breath, opening the arms out to one side, moving the eyes with you to look to your side. Exhale, sweeping the arms through center and opening through the other side, moving the eyes and neck with you. Exhale, sweeping the arms through center to look over the right shoulder. Exhaling, sweeping the arms through center to look over the left. Take this moving breath, 5 or 6 rounds of breath. We're beginning to link movement with breath, with eyes, linking the whole body and the different parts of how we move through our day. Let the breath really flow here. Finding your own unity in your own body here. Take another couple breaths. And we'll meet in mountain pose, letting the hands rest at the side. Inhale, bend the knees, sweep the arms overhead. Exhale, sweep the arms, swan dive down. Step the left foot back behind you. Inhale, open the right arm towards the sky, breathing into the heart space. Breathing into the fingertips, exhaling to root into the front foot and the back toes. Exhale, release the hand to the ground. Inhale, sweeping the left arm towards the sky, breathing into the heart space here. Breathing all the way into the hip. Exhale, release the hand. Release the back knee. You can use a blanket here for the back knee if that's supportive. Anjaneyasana, you can clasp the hands, bringing them overhead, or you can also take a low hand Anjaneyasana with the hands behind and slightly lower. Either way, breathing into the heart space, opening up, crescent moon pose. Let the breath flow here. And planting the hands, step back into a downward dog. Let the breath flow here, breathing into the hips. Inhale into plank, pressing into the palms of the hands. Nice strong core here. Exhale, press back into a downward dog. Let the breath flow. Inhale the left leg towards the sky. You can bend the knee, three-legged dog. Encourage the right heel to press down. Breathe into that hip. If you like, you can make circles here in that hip or simply enjoy the stillness of your three-legged dog. Wherever you are, whether you're circling or opening the hip, let the breath flow to that part of the body. Good. Inhale the left leg towards the sky, step forward between the hands, step the right foot forward. Inhale, sweep the arms overhead, looking towards the sky. Exhale, fold forward, step the right foot back, coming into your lunge. Pressing into the right hand, inhale, sweeping the left arm open towards the sky, breathing into the heart space. Breathing into the fingertips, exhaling to root into the front foot, back toes. And let the breath flow here. Release the hand to the ground. Inhale, sweeping the right arm towards the sky. Breathing into the fingertips, exhale, rooting into your lunge. Release the hand to the ground, step back into, or release the back knee to the ground, Anjaneyasana. Clasping the hands, opening above to open the heart, or letting the hands fall behind you. Wherever you are, inhale into the heart space, exhale to ground into the back knee, the front toes. Finding balance here in this heart opening, balancing pose. Let the breath flow wherever you are. Really filling the body with air. Release the hands to the ground. Step back into your downward dog. Let the breath flow here. Pressing into the whole palms of the hands and the back toes. Inhale into a plank, pressing into the palms, strong core. Exhale, press back into downward dog. Inhale the right leg towards the sky, bend the knee, three-legged dog, pressing the left heel towards the floor. You can let this be a still three-legged dog or go ahead and rotate through that hip socket. Wherever you are, bring breath into that part of the body. Continue to press into the hand knuckles to support you here. Continue to press into the back toes and reverse the circles if you haven't already. Inhale that right leg towards the sky, step forward between the hands, step the left foot forward. Inhale, sweeping the arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive down, framing the feet. Step the left foot back, square lunge, and we'll release the back knee to the ground and pressing into the front knee, opening the heart space. Maybe looking slightly towards the sky in this gentle heart opener. Let the breath flow here through the crown of the head, exhaling to ground. Inhale the left leg towards the sky. Exhale, releasing the hands through heart center, coming into a twist, pressing the left elbow into the right knee. Maybe looking towards the space behind you. Pressing the hands into the heart space. Let the breath flow here. Take another breath in your heart opening twist and release the hands to the ground. Step back into downward dog. Let the breath flow. Pressing into the hands. Pressing into the back toes. Inhale the left leg towards the sky, bend the knee, three-legged dog. Encourage the right heel to press down. Continue to press into the hand knuckles. Step the left foot between the palms of the hands, step the right foot forward. Inhale, sweeping the arms overhead. Exhale, swan dive down. Step the right foot back. release the right knee to the ground into your square lunge, pressing into the knee, opening the heart space, looking forward, maybe slightly up to support this heart opening. Let the breath flow through the crown of the head. Inhale the right arm up. Exhale, releasing the hand through heart center, coming into your twist on the other side. Let the breath flow through the crown of the head. Exhaling to ground into this lunge. Encourage the breath to flow all the way into the hips here. Finding some balance. We might sway in our twist. Releasing the hands to the ground. Step the foot back into a downward dog. Let the breath flow here. Breathing all the way into the hips, pressing into the palms, pressing into the back toes. Breathing into the back body. Lift the right leg towards the sky, bend the knee, encourage the left heel to press down, coming into three-legged dog again. Letting the breath flow into the hips. Inhale the right leg towards the sky. Step between the hands and bringing the left foot about a foot forward into a 45-degree angle, coming into warrior one. Inhale to sweep the arms overhead, lifting the fingertips towards the sky, breathing into the fingertips. Exhale, relaxing the shoulders into the back. Go ahead and open the arms wide like wings to open the heart space. Breathing into the heart space, exhaling to ground, really rooting into the roots of your feet here. Let the breath fill the body. Exhaling to ground. And we're going to take a moving breath. So inhaling to come up, bring the fingertips overhead, exhaling to straighten the front leg, pivoting at the hips, bringing the arms behind you. Inhale to come into your warrior one. Exhaling to bend the front knee, pivoting at the hip to sweep the arms behind. Go ahead and take this moving breath, 5 or 6 rounds of breath with your own breath, really grounding into your roots and finding the link between your movement and your breath. This is a deep balancing pose and really moving our whole body as one big moving breath. Really enjoying this, finding some peace in our body here. And as we come up, the next time we're coming up to warrior one, we can open the arms, coming into our warrior two. Go ahead and lift the palms towards the ceiling to really open the heart space here. Pressing into the big toe, little toe, and heel of both feet. We're really grounded. Breathing through the crown of the head, exhaling to find your roots. Let the breath flow here. Finding your strength in this pose. Breathe the front arm forward and exhale, reverse your warrior, breathing into the side ribs. Let the breath flow. Continuing to root into your roots. Exhaling to relax the shoulder onto the back. Inhale, sweep that arm forward, coming into your extended side angle. You can rest the elbow on the knee, or you can rest the hands towards the block or the floor or the shin. Strong legs here, breathing into the side body. Exhaling to ground into your feet. Inhale, sweeping the arms back up through warrior two. Swivel the feet to face the side of the mat. Bring your hands to the hips. Inhale through the crown of the head. Exhale, fold right forward. Prasarita Padottanasana. And we'll take this as a moving breath. You can inhale through the back body, looking forward. Exhale to fold over, letting the neck hang. And continue with this moving breath, 5 or 6 rounds of breath. Or if you're desiring more stillness right now, you can also just let this be a forward fold. Wherever you are, let those big muscles of the legs really root into the ground so that your upper body can really release. Invite breath to flow into the back body here. Our lungs are in the front and also back of our bodies. There's so much space there for breath. Strong legs are really grounding you here. And from here, we'll turn towards the left side, coming into a warrior one with our left foot forward, sweeping the arms overhead, breathing through the fingertips. So our back foot is at an angle here. It's a bit of a stretch through the body as well. Inhale through the fingertips, exhale to relax the shoulders onto the back. From here, open the arms wide like wings, breathing into your open heart space here. Continue to press into the whole big surfaces of your feet. They're really grounding you here. Finding some balance here. And we'll take that moving breath again, inhaling to sweep the arms up into warrior one, exhaling to extend the front leg, folding forward, bringing the arms behind us. Inhaling to come into our warrior one. And exhaling to fold forward. Enjoy this long, big breath through the whole body, linking breath and movement. Let the breath be supportive here of your own balance. Pressing into the surfaces of both feet. You can let this movement be still if you're feeling any dizziness or more slow. And then from there, go ahead and open up into a warrior two on the other side. You can imagine that you're pulling the mat together to help ground you if you're feeling any unstableness in your warrior two. That could help ground. Find your left knee over the left ankle so it's nice and safe. Open the fingertips towards the sky to open the heart. Let the breath flow through the crown of the head, exhaling into your roots here. Let the breath flow through the whole body. Really enjoy that feeling of breath flowing. If you're feeling any burning or heat building, the breath is always there to support us. Inhale the front arm forward, exhale, reversing the warrior, breathing into the side body. Exhale, relaxing the shoulder into the back. Bring breath into the low back here. There's space for breath there as well. And inhale that arm forward, coming into extended side angle, breathing into the other side of the body. Exhale, relaxing the shoulder into the back. You can also bring the hand to a block or towards the ground. Opening the heart space towards the sky, the deep stretch here. And exhaling to relax the shoulder into the ground or into the back. Inhale that arm up, back into warrior two. Bringing the toes to face the side of the mat. Hands on the hips, inhale through the crown of the head, fold right forward. Again, you can take a moving breath to inhale to lengthen and exhale to fold, or you can simply enjoy the stillness of the forward fold here. And you're welcome to stay there, or if you like, you can begin to move side to side. So bending one knee, maybe bringing the fingertips to help support this side to side. As you do this, continue to breathe deeply into the hips. You can use your hands to really support you here, like you're crawling. And if you want a deeper to work without your hands, you can also bring the hands to heart center, see how that feels, or maybe even open the arms like wings. Wherever you are, let the breath flow. Strong legs pressing into the roots. Take another 2 or 3 breaths there in your own variation of this moving or still breath in this wide straddle. And gently bring this movement towards the close, and very slowly, breathing deeply, we'll begin to roll ourselves up vertebrae by vertebrae, coming towards a standing position. And taking a moment to adjust our vision towards the front, whatever's in front of us, and bringing the knees or the legs together back towards our mountain pose. We're coming into our tree pose, and we'll start with by lifting the right leg, or whichever. I'm mirroring you here, but your tree pose might have be low with the toes to the ground, or maybe you bring the foot to the shin. Maybe your tree is on the side. We don't want it on the knee. So find your tree on the side. Your hands could be at prayer, heart center, maybe low branches, maybe high branches. Finding a central point of vision, your drishti, to help center you here, and your tree might sway. Wherever you are, let the breath flow through the crown of the head. Exhale to ground into your roots. Breath flows to nourish the whole body here. And whenever you're ready, you can release that tree on that side. Experiencing the body here, and we'll move into the other side, and our sides can look really different. Might be a low tree here, maybe on the shin, maybe really high on the thigh here, and really connecting the sole of the foot and the standing leg. Finding your arms, let the breath flow through the crown of the head. As you exhale, you're really grounding into the roots. Beautiful. You can relax the shoulders onto the back as you exhale. Let the breath flow here. Find your center of vision. Breathing with your own body. Always rooting into your roots. You can release your tree, and moving through our mountain pose again, coming into baby dancer. You can use a wall if you like to help balance, or you can be in space. We'll bringing the right leg towards the back, the heel towards the hip. Well, opening up the front of the leg. You can use both hands, or you can use one hand and bring the other arm overhead, breathing through the crown of the head, exhaling to root into the standing leg. This is a pretty deep stretch for the leg. If you like, you can begin to come into a dancer pose by kicking the back foot into the backhand. Wherever you are, breathing through the crown of the head, exhaling to root into the standing leg. Breath is really flowing here to support this opening. Good. Exhale, releasing that side. And we'll come into the other side using a wall or in space. So bringing the the foot into the hand. You can use both hands to support baby dancer, or you might lift the other arm, experiencing extension. And if you like, you can also kick that back heel back and begin to open the heart space wherever you are. Let the breath flow, exhaling to ground into the standing leg. Let the breath flow through the whole body here. Exhale to find your roots. Really good. Long breath to nourish the whole body. You can release that side, come right down into Malasana Squat. And we're really rooting the hips down and opening the heart space. Your Malasana can look different ways. You might reach or press the palms into the floor if that is more supportive, or even sit back on the sitting bones if that is more supportive for your Malasana. Breathe through the crown of the head, exhaling to roots into the hips. Inhale the right arm towards the sky, Malasana twist. Exhaling to continue to root into the hips here. Opening through the heart space. Release that side. Inhale into the other side. And exhale, releasing into the hips. And you can release that side. We're going to meet on our belly, facing the mat. And we've been opening the fronts of the legs, opening the heart space, opening the back. Take a moment connecting with your breath, moving into the ground. As you breathe into the belly, you'll feel it pressing against the support beneath you. As you exhale, you might feel your body lowering. Go ahead and bring the heels towards the buttocks, again, stretching the front of the thighs here. And this might be plenty. If you want to continue to open, you can also open the shoulders to create a heart opening as well. And you can stay here, or if you like, you can move into a full bow pose by kicking the heels back and opening the heart space. If you're taking, wherever you are, press the sacrum into the ground on the exhale. If you're taking bow pose, flex the feet. Wherever you are, let the breath flow. Exhaling to ground into the pelvic area. Go ahead and release. Windshield wipe the legs side to side. You can rest the forehead into the hands. Good. And from here, we're going to take a pigeon pose. You can either take a full pigeon, or you can do pigeon on your back, which you'll lie on your back and place the ankle over the knee and then pulling the thigh towards you. If you want to do the forward facing pigeon, it could be nice to have a blanket or cushion under the hips. And then it's nice to come into it through a downward dog, inhaling the leg up and then bringing that knee forward at an angle, keeping that front foot slightly flexed to protect the knee, and then inhaling through the crown of the head to lengthen, and then folding forward at the hip on the exhale. And if you're taking more restorative pigeon, you'll be on the back with the ankle over the knee and then pulling the opposite leg towards you. Both options open up the hips. If you're facing the mat, it could be more of an intense opening of the hips. So go ahead and find your pigeon today. And if you're folding forward, you can also rest the forehead into a block or into the palms of the hands to help support that forward fold as well. Or you can also lower the head towards the mat. And wherever you are, invite breath to flow into the back body. And as you exhale, finding some release and letting go in this pose. Inhale to invite breath into the hips. And each exhale is an opportunity to release and soften into this pose. We'll be here for one more minute. Let the exhale be just as long as the inhale here. This helps us to soften into our pigeon. You can imagine the inhale is the receptive part of the breath, and the exhale is the active part. As you exhale, continuing to release the pelvic area into the ground. As you're ready, very slowly begin to ease your way out of the side. You can press into the hand if you are facing forward. Very gently bringing the leg back. And you can get into the other side however you like. If you are doing facing forward, you can press into a downward dog to neutralize the spine for a moment, breathing into the hips. Inhaling the left leg towards the sky, bringing that ankle forward, keeping the foot flexed if you're taking the forward folding option. Or doesn't have to be extremely flexed, but a good flex to help protect the knee. You can place a blanket under the hips, inhaling through the crown of the head, and then exhaling to release the hips towards the ground here. Inhaling to find length, and then exhaling to fold forward. If you are taking the version on your back, you'll be bringing the ankle to the knee and then pulling the thigh towards you. Wherever you are, inhaling into the hip area here. And as you exhale, finding some grounding in this pose, either through the pelvis Or if you're on your back, releasing the back into the ground. We're evening out the left and the right side here, helping our body to move in more harmony. Be on this side for another 30 seconds. Let the breath flow through the whole spine into the hips, exhaling to ground to find some relief. Exhale is an active letting go. Can release that side. Go ahead and bring the knees towards the chest if you are on your back, or come onto your back if you are facing forward. Making your way out of Pigeon Pose very gently, being gentle with the knees and pulling the knees towards you. You can rock the hips side to side and give yourself a massage in the low back and hips. As you do this, breathing into the belly. You can feel wherever you're feeling that massage into the ground. It might be in the mid back, low back, hips, gluteus maximus muscles, and you can press into whatever parts feel good. As you're doing that, continue to let the breath flow. Breathing deeply into the hips here. Go ahead and let the knees fall over to the left side, opening up the right side of the hip. You can use the left arm to help ground the knees, or you can simply let the hand fall open like a V, and that right hand can rest over the hips, grounding you, or you can also come into a deeper twist by cactusing that arm or making a letter T, opening the heart space. For a softer twist, you can look towards the bent knees, or maybe for a deeper twist over the opposite shoulder. You can let the gaze be gentle or even close the eyes. Begin to let the heart space release here with each exhale. You continue to let the breath flow, even as the twist creates some compression in the body. And each out breath is a softening. And if you notice any thoughts that arise, simply notice them. You can let them pass. Each exhale an opportunity to release a little bit more into this pose. You can begin to bring the knees back through above the belly in a neutral spine. You can hug the knees towards the chest using the palms of the hand, breathing deeply into the belly. Give yourself a little massage into the low back, hips, wherever feels good for you as you're pressing into the ground here. And then as you're ready, whenever you're ready, you can let the knees fall towards the opposite side. It can also feel nice to put a blanket between the legs here to help support the twist, or even over the hips to help ground you. That right arm can help ground the legs or simply fall open into a V, and the other arm can help ground you as well, or you can let this really be an opening twist. You can cactus the arm or make a letter T. And looking over the opposite shoulder or looking over the bent knees for a softer twist here. And begin to let yourself relax into this side, relaxing the spine on left and right here. Continue to invite the breath to flow nice and long here, even as our spine and organs are gently compressing. If it helps, you can imagine the breath like a visitor, gently inviting breath in and gently releasing breath on the exhale. Every breath is an opportunity to release and soften towards the ground. You can also gently release the space behind the eyes, releasing any thoughts here as well. We'll be making our way towards legs up the wall. If you have a wall, go ahead and bring your mat or bring a blanket to the wall. And if you don't have a wall, you can also use, as an alternative, you can use a chair or a sofa. if you are doing legs up the wall, you can use the mat under your back, or you can use a blanket under the back and bringing the sitting bones to the edge of the wall. Go ahead and swing the legs up at a 90-degree angle. And if there is any pinching at the knees, you might need to come either closer to the wall so that your seat is right up against the wall, or you might need to actually move a few inches away from the wall. Depending on your body, you might just feel that out. And if you are coming to a chair or a sofa, you can simply let the knees bend, let the backs of the calves rest on the chair, whichever you have. If you have a strap, you can also use the strap around your calves to help the hips fully release here. An alternative to a strap is also a scarf or belt, anything like that. Feel free to use other props that might support this is something under the neck or a blanket over the hips to help ground you here. The hands can rest over the head, really opening the whole body, the upper body and shoulders. You can also place the hands over the sitting or over the hips, or at a V by your side, palms down, grounding, or palms up, receptive. And begin to let the legs rest into the hip sockets so the legs aren't holding anything here. And the hips are completely loose. The hips are your roots here. They're rooting into the ground. Take a moment to notice the neck and throat and making sure they're nice and relaxed and open here, letting air flow freely. Let the entire back rest into the ground. Know that the ground is there to support the entire back space. Notice the low belly is soft here without any holding. So invite breath into the low belly. And breathing into the heart space as well. As you exhale, continue to relax the back. You can imagine the skull is heavy. The brain is also resting in the skull here. Resting in the back of the skull. And simply enjoying the presence of breath here in this pose. Enjoying the breath, filling the belly, filling the heart space. Exhaling to melt the shoulders into the ground. Let the exhale be just as long as each inhale. You can also take a moment, a pause after the exhale, enjoying the collapse of the low belly into the pelvis after the breath leaves. Continue to let the space behind the eyes also rest here in this pose. And as we're moving into Shavasana, our final resting pose, you're welcome to stay here with your legs up the wall or on the chair if it feels restful to you. You're also welcome to move into more traditional Shavasana with your full back on the ground and your legs extended, and some props that might be supportive, a rolled blanket under the knee or a pillow under the head and neck, or a pillow over the body for warmth and grounding. Check in with your body temperature if you need any layers or any water before you come into your resting position. And from there, you can lower yourself back onto your hands, forearms, resting slowly onto your back. And you can let the hands rest over the hips to help ground you, or add a V at your side, palms up receptively, palms down, grounding. Begin to relax the upper eyelids towards the lower eyelids. Let the entire body rest into the ground here. Relaxing the face, the forehead, eyebrows. Letting the eyes rest in the eye sockets. Relaxing the cheeks, mouth. You can swallow and let the low jaw part naturally. Relaxing the neck, shoulders, ribs. Noticing the ribs rising and making space for air. Letting the belly be soft and expansive, letting the hips be heavy. And the big muscles of the body are completely held by the ground here. The thighs, the trunk, and the small muscles of the body also resting here. The wrists, the ankles. Letting everything go. And let your breath be natural, simply resting here. There's nothing to do here. If it feels supportive, you can imagine a color that feels safe and comforting, whatever comes to mind. You can imagine that color moving through the entire body, Giving your nervous system a massage as you're resting here. Simply rest. Begin to invite a deeper breath through the nose into the belly. You can release breath through the mouth. And invite movement into the fingers and toes. You can stretch the arms overhead like you're waking up again today. And inviting light back into the eyes. In your own time, you can roll onto one side through a fetal position. You can use the elbow as a pillow under the head, pressing yourself up on the hands and forearms, letting your head and neck be lax. Finding a comfortable seat, you can use a blanket under the sitting bones or exhaling breath out of the mouth. Take a deep belly breath in through the nose, releasing breath through the mouth. Take another deep belly breath in through the nose, releasing breath through the mouth. You can place one hand over the heart and one over the belly, noticing any shift in the body, breath, heart space, and connecting with your own intention for today's practice. Maybe bringing that intention off the mat today. And continuing with your hands wherever they're comfortable, at heart center or at the knees. Taking a moment in gratitude for this practice. And thank you for sharing this practice today. If you like, you can bow forward. Thank you. If you have any questions or feedback, let me know. Be turning off the recording as well.